Yesterday, I posted about how GLP-1 drugs are not just weight loss drugs, they have a lot of other longevity benefits and prevent a lot of diseases. A lot of you asked why, and I love this question. So let's get into why. First up, I'm Dr. Christy. I have a PhD in molecular and cellular oncology. I work in genomics and been kind of studying this stuff for many, many years. To understand GLP-1s, you have to zoom out and think of this from an evolutionary perspective. So bear with me here. Humans evolved in an environment where food was scarce, it was unpredictable, it wasn't always sterile. Because of that, our metabolic system and our immune system, they actually evolved together. They're very tightly linked. So that'll come in play in a second. Eating was about nutrients, but also activating the immune pathway, kind of adapted and helped us survive. Fast forward now to modern life, right? We live in a world where we have so much food available, fast food stores, Starbucks, big grocery chains. Everywhere we look, there's food. And our biology was not designed for this. We were designed to have to struggle for our food. So now this chronic high nutrient intake, that changes the inflammatory environment inside of our cells and our tissues and our organs. That drives insulin resistance. It keeps inflammatory pathways turned on. So researchers I'll link a paper below, but they actually call this metaflammation, chronic inflammation driven by nutrient excess. Over time, that feeds into inflammaging, which is this chronic immune activation, feeds into all of the diseases in our modern world, diabetes, heart disease, cancer. In other words, our biology and our modern world are just completely misaligned. This is also why caloric restriction extends lifespan. We've seen this in multiple species. So when you think about it, nutrient intake is reduced when we're fasting. That reduces insulin and mTOR signaling, and that turns on autophagy, or the cellular repair, stress resilience pathways. These get activated. These are longevity pathways that are highly conserved from everything from yeast to humans. So basically, less constant nutrient signaling allows the body to shift from growth and storage into maintenance and repair mode. Now let's get to GLP-1. Where do they fit in? So they're not just reducing our food intake, although that is part of the equation. They're reducing the nutrient overload signal. So they're improving insulin signaling, lowering fat, which is also inflammatory, normalizing the inflammatory environment in all our tissues. They're also quieting this immune activation process that's driven by this excess nutrition and sort of driving now these longevity pathways. Essentially, you can think of GLP-1 signaling as helping our ancient biology function better in the modern world, in the modern environment, and it's correcting this mismatch that's been driving disease for